This video is about famous people and celebrities who passed away in 1974 in the United States. This is the second episode. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Fern Andra. She was born in November 1893 and she died in February 1974. Her age was 80 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Fern Andra was an American actress, film director, scriptwriter, and producer, next to Henry Porten and Asta Nielsen. She was one of the most popular and well-known actresses in German silent film. When her father William died in 1898, Andra was already appearing in public in a tightrope act. By the age of 4, she later trained in song and dance. As early as 1899 in New York, she made her first film, a version of Uncle Tom's Cabin. However, she remained with the circus, with which she embarked on an extensive tour across the United States, Canada, and Europe. For a time, she was a member of Bird Milan, acclaimed troupe of wire artists. In Berlin, she met Max Reinhardt, who gave her acting lessons. In 1913, aged 19, she appeared in her first German film, Das Ave Maria. Still unmoderately well-known, she made her only Austrian film in 1915, Zwei Freund. From 1916 to 1918, she appeared almost exclusively on camera with Alfred Ebel. In 1920, she starred in Robert Wiene's expressionist horror film Genuine. In the mid-1920s, she lost her public appeal in Germany. From 1928, she worked in the United Kingdom and the United States, later expanding her range to include radio and television. Leonard Freeman. He was born in October 1920 and he died in January 1974. His age was 53 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Leonard Freeman was an American television writer and producer who is best remembered as the creator of the CBS series Hawaii 5-0 in 1968. He appeared in a 1953 episode number 112 of the television series The Lone Ranger. Hawaii 5-0 ran for 12 seasons, at the time a record for a crime drama. In 1960, he wrote for the series Route 66. In 1962, he produced The Untouchables. In 1967, he produced the Clint Eastwood Western film Hang 'em High. A decade earlier, he wrote scripts for the syndicated Men of Annapolis. Freeman died in 1974 during the 6th season of Hawaii 5-0 of complications related to heart surgery. Samuel Goldwyn. He was born in August 1882 and he died in January 1974. His age was 91 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart failure. Samuel Goldwyn was a Polish-born American film producer and pioneer in the American film industry, who produced Hollywood's first major motion picture. He was best known for being the founding contributor and executive of several motion picture studios in Hollywood. He was awarded the 1973 Golden Globe Cecil B. DeMille Award, the Irving G. Thalberg Memorial Award in 1947, and the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award in 1958. In 1913, Goldwyn, along with his brother-in-law Jesse L. Lasky, Cecil B. DeMille, and author friend, formed a partnership, the Jesse L. Lasky Feature Play Company, to produce feature-length motion pictures. In 1916, Goldwyn partnered with Broadway producers Edgar and Archibald Sullivan, using a combination of both names to call their filmmaking enterprise Goldwyn Pictures. Seeing an opportunity, he had his name legally changed to Samuel Goldwyn in December 1918 and used this name for the rest of his life. Goldwyn Pictures proved successful, but it is their Leo the Lion trademark for which the company is remembered today. In 1957, Goldwyn was awarded the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award for his outstanding contributions to humanitarian causes. Clara Edwards. She was born in April 1880 and she died in January 1974. Her age was 93 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was undisclosed. Clara Edwards was an American singer, pianist, and composer, of odd songs. She also used the pseudonym Bernard Hay out of financial necessity. Edwards began her career as a composer and songwriter in the 1920s, joining the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers in 1925. She toured in vaudeville at about the same time and organized the Chautauqua Concert Company in 1934. She often collaborated with Jack Lawrence, but also wrote many of the lyrics to her own songs. Edwards composed over 100 works and published over 60 songs. Several of her songs are sacred, and she wrote choral arrangements for some of them. She also composed music for solo piano, for children's marionette plays, and animated films. Her songs have been recorded and issued on CD and used in film soundtracks and animations. Her songs were quickly taken up by publishers, and many famous singers performed them, including soprano Lily Pons and baronets John Charles Thomas and Ezio Pinza. They also become more successful when performed on the popular radio show The Bell Telephone Hour. Harold D. Cooley. He was born in July 1897 and he died in January 1974. His age was 76 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Harold D. Cooley was an American politician of Democratic Party. He represented the 4th Congressional District of the North Carolina from 1934 to 1966. He was a private practice lawyer and military veteran. He served in the United States Naval Aviation Flying Corps during the First World War and was a member of inter-parliamentary conferences held at Cairo, Egypt 1947 and at Rome, Italy in 1948, and served as president of the American Group for 2 four-year terms. On July 7, 1934, he was elected as a Democrat on the 73rd Congress by special election to fill the vacancy caused by the death of the United States Representative Edward W. Poe. He was subsequently re-elected 16 times, serving until his resignation on December 30, 1966. Cooley remains the longest-serving chairman of the House Committee on Agriculture in history. In 1947 and 1948, he served on the Herter Committee. He was one of the few Southern congressmen not to sign the 1956 Southern Manifesto that opposed the desegregation of public schools ordered by the Supreme Court in Brown versus Board of Education. Bill Finger. He was born in February 1914 and he died in January 1974. His age was 59 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart failure. Bill Finger was an American comic book writer who was the co-creator of the DC Comics character Batman. Despite making major contributions as an innovative writer, visionary, mythos, world builder, and illustration architect, Finger was often relegated to ghostwriter status on many comics, including those featuring Batman and the original Green Lantern. Alan Scott, while Kane privately admitted in the 1980s audio interview with his autobiographer that Finger was responsible for the 50 to 75% of all the creativity in Batman, he publicly denied Finger had been anything more than a subcontractor executing Kane's ideas. For decades, as a result, Finger died in obscurity and poverty while the Batman brand and Kane amassed international fame and wealth. In the 2000s, Finger biographer Mark Tyler Nobleman's research uncovered previously unknown hairs. At the urging of Nobleman, the online comic fan community, and other, Finger's granddaughter revived the fight to restore his lost legacy, which continued for years. George W. Spedicore. He was born in October 1881 and he died in February 1974. His age was 92 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. George W. Spedicore was an American mathematician and statistician. He contributed to the development of analysis of variance, data analysis, experimental design, and statistical methodology. his F distribution, and the George W. Snedecor Award of the American Statistical Association are named for him. Snedecor studied mathematics and physics at Auburn University and University of Alabama, where he graduated with a BS in 1905 after teaching jobs at Selma Military Academy and Austin College in Sherman, Texas. He continued his study in physics at the University of Michigan, where he received an MSc in 1913. Snedecor relocated to Iowa State University in 1913, where he became a professor of mathematics. He initiated the first academic department of statistics in the United States at Iowa State University in 1947 and created the first statistics laboratory in the United States there. He was a pioneer of modern applied statistics. His 1938 book, Statistical Methods, became an essential resource. In the 1970s, a review of citations in published scientific articles from all areas of science showed that Snedecor's Statistical Methods was the most frequently cited book. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.